Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Video Games. Donkey Kong Bananza, 2025 Nintendo EDP, which is essentially just Nintendo's game development division. Nintendo made the game. Moving on. DK Bananza is an open-world platformer action game where the player takes control of the titular tie-wearing gorilla. While working the mines on the surface, an object crash lands near his worksite. Inspecting it, he finds a strange purple talking rock. However, this is no rock. It is a young girl named Pauline. DK finds out that Pauline was taken prisoner by the Void Mining Corporation, headed by the evil Void Kong, and that Void is trying to dig to the core of the planet to find the mythical Banandium root. With the planet at stake, DK and Pauline travel downward into the planet and must stop Void Kong before it is too late. So, I recently got a Switch 2, and honestly, this was the perfect game to break in this console with. This was an incredibly relaxing and entertaining platforming game. Going the route of something like Super Mario Odyssey instead of Donkey Kong Country, or maybe I should say, going the route of something like Donkey Kong 64 instead of Donkey Kong Country, Bananza is a 3D collect-em-up sort of platformer. You get a fairly large set of sandboxes to explore, and in these levels you have to run and jump to collect bananas and other assorted goods, fight enemies, and help the denizens of these maps. Along the way, you get the powers of the various people you meet. You get a gorilla with super strength, a snake that can jump high and stop time, a fast zebra. You get the idea. It's the sort of thing you've seen before in other games. But how well does DK Bananza do that formula? Well, in my opinion, DK Bananza does that formula pretty damn well. Aside from the camera occasionally getting in your way, the general control and feel of moving around is super smooth. The levels can make really good use of your abilities as well as your environment, requiring a combination of both at times to complete tasks. On top of that, the levels are really deep and have tons of secrets to find. You got all the nanners, you got fossils, you got secret challenges, all that good stuff. If you're on that completionist grind set, this game will keep you occupied for ages. One of my favorite aspects of the level design is that these levels are fucking destructible. DK in this game is just wrecking shop. That entire first level in the mines does a great job of introducing this to the player, as DK just has to smash through layers and layers of rock just to get to the first area of the game. DK can just bulldoze his way through walls and the ground and all the levels, and by doing so, you'll find all sorts of goodies. Sometimes you can make unintentional shortcuts to parts of the game by just smashing shit. However, even if this game is pretty damn fun, it still isn't without fault. One of my issues with the game is that it doesn't do as good of a job of incentivizing you to complete all of its content as it could have. Like, the bananas you collect give you skill points to unlock powers, but it's common that in one of these collect-em-up games that an item like the nanner is required to complete the game. I feel like you could get through a good chunk of this game while only collecting the bare minimum of nanners. Even if the sheer act of destroying levels is enough to get you searching for things, I wish that collecting nanners was more of a mandatory thing in the game. My other issue with the gameplay is the inconsistent difficulty level. Like, most of the game is pretty basic and easy. Some might say it's a little baby tier. A good chunk of these bosses and maps don't require much thought to get through, but at random times in the game, it will actually turn into a very challenging experience. The secret levels can have some ridiculously challenging platforming bits. The boss that was shooting acid pools at you, and you had to throw like balls of salt at it, was a little bit of a ball buster. Then the last few levels and bosses are just straight up ball busters. The final battle with Void Kong is just ridiculous in terms of the jump in difficulty from the rest of the game. The artistic elements of this game, while compensating for some of the gameplay's shortcomings, aren't wholly perfect themselves. Visually, there is no denying that this game is really nice to look at. Let's not get it twisted. The graphics are slick, the lighting is really nice, and every character and environment is dynamic in animation. Even if they reuse cutscene animations at times, they do look nice. Further, the levels and characters are all full of personality and unique aesthetics. You got your typical sort of beach worlds, forest worlds, mountain worlds, that sort of stuff. But some of these levels can get fucking bonkers. The snow world is also made of, like, sweets, so things are built with, like, chocolate, sprinkles, all that stuff. There's a level that is just made of fast food, so the water is deep fryer oil, everything is made of burgers and fries, that sort of deal. Like, it's super imaginative where this crew took the levels at times. Like the other Donkey Kong games, the instrumental music in this game is nothing but straight bangers. The forest level is probably one of my favorite pieces in the game. It builds to this slick little melody that just hits every facet of music that gets me going. Occasionally, there will be callbacks to other tracks from, like, Donkey Kong Country, my favorite of which is in the final level, where it uses this foreboding symphonic rendition of the minecart music from Donkey Kong Country. That went hard as fuck. But now, we get into a problem that is both one of writing and music, and that's the inclusion of that little girl, Pauline. To stick to our topic of music, the special powers you get where you transform into animals all include these insipid little theme songs that are sung in gibberish by the girl. Aside from the fact that this is, on its face, annoying, the songs aren't good. They're about as generically composed as it gets, and all have these god-awful rap verses that feel just tacked on. If I were to say something nice about any of this, it's that 1, Jenny Kidd, the voice of Pauline, is a good enough singer, and 2, I suppose the credits song was, like, fine. But now we get to why Pauline's presence is just kind of irritating from a writing perspective. Without this character, I wouldn't have paid any serious attention to the story. It kept the game moving from set piece to set piece, and it's not like Nintendo hasn't done gibberish voice acting in any of their other games, like every character except for the little girl is speaking fucking gibberish. The gibberish voice actors could actually bring a ton of personality to these characters. Yu Hayashi was really entertaining as Void Kong, and made for a really fun villain. But when I have to sit through Jenny Kidd reading the corniest fucking dialogue, and having this annoying kid be the entire center of the plot, I am forced to confront that this is probably a testing ground for a potential Illumination Donkey Kong movie. Like, seriously, tell me Pauline wouldn't fit into any of those Illumination slot fests. Like, seriously. It made cutscenes that, in any other scenario, would be innocuous, utterly unbearable. Super Mario Odyssey didn't need an annoying little girl. Why the fuck does Donkey Kong Bananza need one? Not even a good King K. Rool plot twist could make me hate dealing with Pauline less. In the end, I still had my fun with this game. A wellspring of replayability, Donkey Kong Bananza features levels that can be smashed and explored to find tons of goodies even after beating the story. It is visually and musically vibrant, and despite its inconsistencies in both gameplay and art direction, it was a very nice way to get used to using my new game system. If you're a Donkey Kong fanatic, you'll definitely want to check this game out. Who knows, you may like it more than me. And I am feeling a 7.5 out of 10 on this one. It's fun. It's a fun game, but it has issues. Catch you later, guys.